The alien girl mocked the human in class. Then she discovered his earthly origin. The outsider. No one at Astrolite Academy liked the new boy in class Omega 7. Not because he was unfriendly. Not because he was strange. But because nobody could figure out what species he was. He wasn't tall enough to be a Valtari. Not scaled enough to be a Draken. Not translucent enough to be a Helion. He looked ordinary. Too ordinary. His name was Kai Renner, and on his first day, he walked into the lecture hall wearing a plain jacket, holding a notebook, an actual paper notebook, something most alien students had only seen in museums. The students went silent as he sat down. And then came the voice that would change everything. Nice relic, someone said. Mocking. Sharp. Amused. Kai looked up. There she was, Lyra Vensai, top of the class, heir to the Vensai diplomatic house, and the most admired alien girl in the academy. Her silver-blue skin glowed faintly under the lights. Her hair floated slightly, like it defied gravity. Her eyes, bright violet, held the expression of someone who had never been wrong a single day in her life. Kai forced a smile. It's just a notebook. Lyra tilted her head. No one uses paper anymore, unless they're primitive. A few students laughed. Kai didn't. He simply closed the notebook and looked at the front. But Lyra wasn't done. Oh no, she whispered just loud enough. Maybe we found our first prehistoric transfer student. More laughter. Kai said nothing. He just stared forward, as if he'd heard it all 1,000 times before. Which, in truth, he had. The mystery deepens. Over the next weeks, Lyra made mocking Kai her hobby. When he answered questions correctly, she called it primitive guesswork. When he wrote notes by hand, she imitated the motions dramatically. When he ate lunch alone, she passed by and said, "Still studying like a cave dweller?" Kai never reacted, never snapped, never fought back. He simply endured, which made Lyra even more irritated. Why wasn't he intimidated? Why didn't he try to impress her? Why didn't he look at her the way everyone else did? Something about him felt wrong. Or maybe unfamiliar. One afternoon, during comparative species studies, Professor Aelith announced a new project. You will pair up and present a full heritage profile on your partner's species. The class groaned. And to ensure fairness, the professor added, I will assign the partners. Lyra already knew what was coming. She was always paired with the highest performing student. What she didn't expect was the name spoken next. Lyra Vensai and Kai Renner. The class gasped. Lyra's jaw dropped. Kai blinked. Hi. She stared at him like he was a malfunctioning droid. No. Absolutely not. Professor. It is final, Aelith said calmly. You two will present in 4 cycles. Lyra glared at Kai, as if this were entirely his fault. Kai sighed internally. This was going to be a long 4 cycles. Middle, the revelation of Earth. Working together, barely. Lyra arrived to their first study session carrying 3 data tablets. Kai arrived carrying his notebook. She frowned. Do your people not have data storage? We do, he replied. I just like writing. Why? Because it feels real. She didn't understand, but she also didn't care enough to argue. Fine, she said. We will begin with your species. What are you, anyway? Kai hesitated. Human, he said quietly. Lyra blinked. Who what? Human, he repeated. From Earth. Lyra typed the name into her tablet. No results found. She frowned. Tried again. Nothing. Earth, she repeated. Is that a moon? A rogue asteroid? A mining station? It's a planet, Kai said. And your species? Human? How advanced are you? Warp capable? Jump capable? Kai paused. Neither. Lyra stared at him, confused. Then slowly, like dawn breaking, she realized something. You mean your species can't leave its own system? Not yet. You mean your species has never traveled past its own star? Not yet. You mean you are from a pre-jump civilization? Kai looked away. Yes. Lyra's throat tightened in surprise. Pre-jump species rarely left their home worlds. Their development was too early, too fragile. Most were protected under the Galactic Preservation Accords. They weren't even supposed to be contacted, let alone enrolled in elite interstellar academies. How did you get here? She whispered. Kai closed his notebook. My mother was abducted. Lyra froze.
What?
She was taken by a rogue Helion research group 20 years ago. They were experimenting, illegally, on non-warp civilizations. Lyra's voice cracked. And you? My mother was pregnant. With me. Silence.
Complete.
Lyra's glowing eyes softened for the first time.
Kai continued.
I was born on a station. My mother tried to escape. She died doing it. I was rescued by a passing patrol, raised under the Accord, and eventually granted citizenship. He looked down at his hands. I've never even seen Earth, but I still call myself human. It's the only gift my mom left me. Lyra could not speak. The boy she mocked, the boy she called primitive, the boy she teased for being prehistoric. He wasn't backward.
He was displaced.
Alone. Uprooted from a world that didn't even know he existed. Her chest felt strangely tight. Kai, she said quietly, I didn't know. I didn't tell anyone, he replied. People look at you differently when you're the only one of your kind. Lyra swallowed hard. Is that why you let me mock you? Kai half smiled. I've been called worse. That hurt her more than any insult she'd ever thrown. For the first time in her life, Lyra felt ashamed. A new kind of partnership. The next cycles were different. Lyra stopped mocking him. She stopped teasing. She stopped treating him like a curiosity. Instead, she asked questions. What was Earth like? What did your mother tell you? What are humans good at? What do they dream of? And Kai answered every question sincerely. He told her about humans learning to fly, humans reaching their moon, humans building machines to touch distant planets, humans dreaming of the stars long before they could reach them. Lyra listened with fascination. She had grown up on a world where space travel was normal, where children learned jump mathematics before they learned to write. But humans were climbing upward slowly, painfully, beautifully, like a species trying to touch something bigger than itself. What do humans want? She asked one evening. Kai looked at the artificial sunset outside the Academy dome. To understand, he said. To explore. To connect. She found herself smiling. That is not primitive, she whispered. That is extraordinary. Kai's cheeks warmed slightly. Lyra pretended not to notice. The shift. By the time presentation day arrived, everyone noticed something had changed. Lyra no longer looked at Kai with disdain. She sat next to him, walked with him, defended him when others whispered. And Kai, he didn't avoid her anymore. He laughed with her, shared meals with her, looked at her like she was someone he could trust. Rumors spread, whispers grew, but neither of them cared. Not about the rumors. Not about the whispers. Not about the stares. Because something stronger was forming between them. Something unexpected. Something they couldn't name. The presentation. The lecture hall was full. Lyra stood tall, glowing softly, her hair floating behind her like a comet tail. Kai stood beside her, notebook in one hand, calm but determined. Lyra began. Our project is on the human species. A species currently pre-jump, residing on an isolated world named Earth. Screens lit up behind them. Images Kai had drawn based on old archives. Earth's oceans, forests,
Cities.
a human mother holding a child. Gasps echoed in the room. Lyra continued. Humans are remarkable, not for their technology, not for their strength, but for their spirit. Students leaned forward. Though limited in advancement, she said, humans have achieved incredible feats despite having far fewer resources than most known species. Kai glanced at her, grateful.
Lyra went on.
What makes humans extraordinary is their desire to push beyond their limits, to dream of stars they cannot yet reach, to explore the unknown with nothing but curiosity and courage. Kai swallowed. He had never been described like that before. Lyra took a breath. And this entire project was only possible because of my partner, Kai Renner, one of the last surviving humans in the known galaxy. The room fell silent. Kai felt every eye on him, but for the first time, he didn't feel alone. Lyra stepped closer, lowering her voice. Kai is not primitive. He is not backward. He is a representation of a species that will one day join the stars. And I am honored, truly honored, to share this with him. The silence that followed was not mocking.
It was awe.
Respect. Maybe admiration. Professor Aelith nodded slowly. Well done, both of you. Ending. The truth of her feelings. After class, the hall emptied, leaving only Lyra and Kai. Kai stared at the floor. You didn't have to say all of that. I wanted to, she said gently. Why? Lyra hesitated. She had mocked him because she didn't understand him. She envied his calm, his mystery, his quiet strength.
And now?
Now she admired him, maybe more than admired. Kai, she began slowly, I have never apologized to anyone before. He waited, and I am sorry. Her voice trembled. For mocking you, for calling you primitive, for not seeing who you really were. Kai smiled softly. I forgave you a long time ago. Lyra's chest tightened. He was too kind, too patient, too human. They walked together toward the shuttle docks. As the stars rose above the Academy dome, Lyra glanced at him. Kai, there is something I wish to show you. What is it? She pointed toward the western horizon. Beneath the fading light, a new project shimmered, an enormous structure under construction. A prototype long-range explorer, Kai whispered. It looks like a vessel capable of reaching a pre-jump world, Lyra said softly. Kai froze. It is part of a new diplomatic program to contact undiscovered or isolated civilizations safely. He stared at her. You mean? Lyra nodded.
Yes.
One day soon you may finally see Earth. His breath caught. Lyra, she looked at him, truly looked, and her voice softened to a whisper. And when you go, I would like to go with you. Kai felt heat rush to his face. Why? Lyra's glowing eyes dimmed tenderly. Because you showed me your origin, she said, and I'll want to be part of your future. The stars reflected in her violet eyes.
Kai didn't know what to say.
But he knew what he felt. Then we'll go together, he whispered. Lyra smiled, gently, beautifully, sincerely, for the first time in her life. At that moment, she wasn't mocking him. She wasn't judging him. She wasn't superior. She was simply Lyra, and he was simply Kai. Two students, two worlds, two origins intertwined. And somewhere out there, waiting in the vast silence of space, Earth awaited its lost son and the alien girl who finally saw him for who he truly was.
The end.